Welcome to FarView, the podcast of the Foundation for Auditing Research. Welcome, dear listeners and viewers. Today our guests are Therese Grohnert and Petra Tijmstra. Welcome. Therese is assistant professor specialized in workplace learning and decision-making at Maastricht University. And Petra is Director of Transformation at the NBA Royal Dutch Institute, I should say, of Chartered Accountants, and she was previously Transformational Lead at PwC. Today we're going to talk about how practice and academia can fruitfully work together, based on your shared experiences on a project. So, okay, Petra, let's start with asking you, how can academia work together with auditing practice? What would be your thoughts on that?
Yes, thank you, Luc. Well, in my role as a transformational lead, I always work closely with academia to gain new insights that supports me and the practice to develop. And in that sense, in that context, we have worked together, Therese and I, for many years now. And I think academic research, especially research with based on simulations, can be the solid foundation underneath your transformational plans or learning and development plans or quality improvement plans. It can also expose the systematic structures in the organization and in the team. So, for example, the symbols and patterns that are in the way of how we work together, but also language that we use, which shows how we do things around here. And that was also something what Therese and Wim really pointed out to us and gave us new insights. In our case, it also revealed best practices, which were not always recognized or rewarded, while they were key for the success of the team, for the quality of decision making, and for innovation. So, I think that all is very helpful, and I think it also can give you a real the right input on where the organization should start with their transformational plans or execution plans. The research we did together really helped me to get a better view on where to start and where to focus on. And it was really the foundation for our transformational plans. I think it can bring a lot. A solid foundation beneath your plans give you the right input, where to start, and how to build upon best practices and implement the interventions that are needed.
Okay, thank you. Therese, how do you see this?
Well, I'm a social scientist. Everything I do is applied to people in their daily work. I want to help people to do their job better, to learn and develop. And that means that I can't do my research just behind my desk. I have to do that together with other people. So for me, the value of collaborating closely with practice is that we can come up with research questions that everybody cares about, that are relevant for theory, but that are just as relevant for daily practice. And I find it very motivating to work on something that I know someone will really implement, put into practice and benefit from. And that means working together from the start.
Petra, could you elaborate a bit more on the process underlying the project you did together?
Yeah. Well, as Therese said, we had a real common interest about how to develop people, how we can improve quality of decision making, and it was also how we approach things. So where our priorities lies, how we approach each other, and that really made a connection. The connection was about trust and common interest, and I think that is a real important start for good research. Based upon that same interest, we started to explore more what the dilemmas were, what the problems were in practice, and we digged further. And because of that, we came to the right questions, but we also digged further on the assumptions to bring those worlds more together. And I think openness on both sides, to listen and ask through, is really important, and to learn each other's words, to know each other's world. And together then you arrive to the right question. Well, bringing it more closely to the practice was also key. So we used a simulation. And I think it's also very important that you really know that this is something new that you examine. So not something that already is known, but go deeper, and then you get the results that you didn't knew. And in this case, that really gave us the opportunity that really gives us the real foundation for my program. And then you come to the presentation of the results. What you see is that most of times the research is presented in a really complex and long paper way, and the same. And not everybody has the urge to read that and to take the time for that, and especially with the new generations, but also in business, everything has to go quick and in short bites. So we use a different manner to bring the results back, more business case wise, more in short videos, incorporated it in the way of working and in our processes, quick reference cards, so different forms to bring in short bites the same information. And I think leading people towards the research and bringing the insights of the research in a more practical and easy way, so people want to read it and are able to get the insights quickly, are very important. And the last thing is we never sat on each other's chair, and I think that's also very important.
Okay, thank you. Therese, does your cooperation, the way you cooperate together, does it deviate? How does that deviate from normal ways of working together?
Oftentimes what we see from a research perspective when it comes to collaborating with practice is that it's either a contract research, that means you are given a research question that you didn't create together, but you help someone by executing research, or you already set your research question, you prepare your instrument, and then you look for someone who can help you get data. Both of those mean that you don't create the project together, but it's created by one side and is executed by the other. What we did was an approach that really brings both sides together, from the first idea of the research to sharing the results. And I think one of the benefits we had is we were able to use simulations with a case that was co-developed, so was as realistic as possible. It gave people an immediate experience of judgment and decision-making in teams, of the challenges that can come up. And while we were able to collect large amounts of data for our research, which as researchers obviously we want, we could use that experience to reflect with the participants, to give them the language of decision-making, of psychological safety, of leadership. And that was a really good common starting point to then, for Petra and her team, to continue the work and to build up on that experience that people had in common and that they shared. So it was not a standalone research, it was integrated in a wider trajectory, a wider project within the firm. And I think that is what made it so successful, that combination.
Petra, what are the main takeaways from your work together?
Yes, I would say start together based on a relationship of trust and with the same interest. That's one. Get to know each other and each other's world, to get an impactful research question and bring the research closely to the practice. And the third one is bring the insights of the research in a more practical, easy way, and attract a bigger audience with more than only papers.
Do you want to add something to that, Therese?
For me, one message to the researchers that might worry about having control over the research process or being able to steer quality, it may seem that having very applied research is contradictory to research that you may want to publish. And for me, that's not at all the case. I really feel that those things go together. We want to have valid data with people in a realistic situation, and the information that we share with practice and that is relevant for Petra and her team may not be exactly the same as the information we publish, but they go hand in hand. So my message is don't be afraid, just give it a try.
Thank you very much for your participation in this podcast.
Thank you.